ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। Yeah, we'll chant from 28. Go ahead and unmute yourself. शुभाशुभफलैरेवम्
शुभाशुभफलैरेवम्
मोक्ष्यसे कर्मबन्धनैः
मोक्ष्यसे कर्मबन्धनैः
सन्न्यासयोगयुक्तात्मा
सन्न्यासयोगयुक्तात्मा
विमुक्तो मामुपैष्यसि।
विमुक्तो मामुपैष्यसि।
तमोहं सर्वभूतेषु
समोऽहं सर्वभूतेषु
न मे द्वेष्योऽस्ति न प्रियः।
न मे द्वेष्योऽस्ति न प्रियः।
ये भजन्ति तु मां भक्त्या
ये भजन्ति
So we are not able to hear you. Okay. Go ahead and turn off your video. Yeah, that might be better.
ये भजन्ति तु मां
मयि ते तेषु चाप्यहम्
ये भजन्ति तु मां भक्त्या मयि ते तेषु चाप्यहम्।
अपि चेत् सुदुराचारः
अपि चेत् सुदुराचारः
भजते मामनन्यभाक्
भजते मामनन्यभाक्
साधुरेव समन्तव्यः
साधुरेव समन्तव्यः
सम्यग् व्यवसितो हि सः
सम्यग् व्यवसितो हि सः
क्षिप्रं भवति धर्मात्मा
क्षिप्रं भवति धर्मात्मा
शश्वच्छान्तिं निगच्छति।
शश्वत्शान्तिं निगच्छति।
कौन्तेय प्रतिजानीहि
कौन्तेय
न
प्रतिजानीहि
मे भक्तः प्रणश्यति
न मे प्रणश्यति
मां हि पार्थव्यपाश्रित्य
मां हि पार्थव्यपाश्रित्य
येऽपि स्युः पापयोनयः
येऽपि स्युः पापयोनयः
स्त्रियो वैश्यास्तथा शूद्राः
स्त्रियो वैश्यास्तथा शूद्राः
तेऽपि यान्ति परां गतिम्.
तेऽपि यान्ति परां गतिम्.
Yeah. So we were studying this Shloka number 32. In the discussion of Bhakti Mahatmyam. What is the greatness of Bhakti? Bhakti is the easiest thing that comes to us. Naturally, a person becomes a Bhakta unless obstructed otherwise. Okay? Means what? Unless the circumstances don't allow that to happen. That is the mean. Correct? So, here, Papa Yonayaha in the Shloka 32. What is Papa Yoni? Shastram is not so interested whether what kind of work I do. Are you working in a big company, small company? Are you doing agriculture, vyavasaya? All this Shastra is not interested. Karma Kanda, you have to, Dharma is highlighted. There also, Dharma only highlighted. There also, Veda doesn't care. Are you a doctor? Are you doing this, that, etc.? Do good. That is the best thing. And because you can do good, that's it. And as simple as that. An animal itself, in the National Geographic one show, I saw this. A group of elephants were walking, and I may have mentioned it to you. And then they come back. The lead elephant just comes back, and then comes back because he saw a tortoise which is inverted, and then it's just doing like this. An inverted tortoise is a helpless tortoise, correct? So you can't just do like this. Then all these tricks, it doesn't have that kind of ability. So the elephant just like that it does with the leg, like with the trunk or leg. I don't remember now. And that's it. And then it moves on. These are all what? Elephant. An elephant can finish off any being on earth. And but then elephant says, no, he needs help. So if an elephant can help, then we human beings who sit on elephants, okay, why should we be able to? so so therefore the Shastram is not interested in all these things. He said papam punyam is there, be careful, that's all it says. And you have to decide your future. God doesn't decide your future. And because God has given the whole thing, the entire law is God for us, correct? Everything is God. Vayu is Ishvara. Everything is given to you, and you also are Ishvara on top of that. Therefore, God has nothing left to do, really speaking. Everything is in motion. God is in motion. It's working. God is working. So allow God to work, and in the form of yourself. Okay, this is the idea in Advaita Vedanta. Okay, and so of course to get this vision, bhakti is very important. We saw that. And so Papa Yonayaha in this shloka, Striyaha, it's a dangerous shloka because Papayonayaha, Kama Striyaha means women, and then Vaishyaha means Vaishyaha means business people, people with a business mindset. Shudraha means people who don't have original thinking, but they are laborers. Okay, Shudra. Tepi yanti paramgate. They also means what? Women also. It's like saying my son is intelligent, but my daughter also she's trying to do. It means what? This is an insult. It's not good. So Krishna, you have to ask Krishna, is it trying to put down people and all that? Or is there a judgment being made? There's no chance. There's no chance of that happening. And so we have to interpret this Striya. Every word in Sanskrit, in our Shastram, especially in Sanskrit, or in any language, there is something called a Vachyartha, and then there is something called a Lakshyartha. Vachyartha, two meanings. Minimum, often, apple. Take apple. What is the meaning of apple? Somebody asks you. Vachyartha is what? Vachyartha is the fruit apple, the red color or the green color apple, depending on which part of the world you live and what you like. That's apple. That is something that edible, and a fruit, a type of a fruit is called apple. But then she is the apple of my eyes, if somebody says. There is a statement like that. Apple of my eyes means she is the dearest. My daughter is the dearest to me. Apple of my eyes. My children are the apple of my eyes. So they are, I live for their sake. My life is happy because of them. That is apple of my eyes. And if you know a little bit more, if you, New York and all, if you know a little bit, then New York is another apple. Okay, this comes to my mind. New York apple, only a few people know what New York apple is. All these people who keep awake on December 31st and then look at this apple falling down. Okay, from big, one big tall building is there. And I have not seen it. Actually, I have not seen it in my 30 years of being in the US. But they say this apple they watch. So apple can have many meanings. What do you mean by apple? So Vachyartha is fruit, then Lakshyartha, implied meaning, based on the context. Based on what is the context. Okay. So here also same thing. Striyaha. Okay. Okay, Papa Yonaha. Let's first understand that. So here the words are what? He's talking about Papa Yonayaha, number one, Striyaha. Okay, we have to see what it is. Vaishyaha Tatha Shudraha. Four types of people. Four types of people is mentioned here. Okay, Papa Yonayaha, we saw last time. People who are born in dysfunctional families. Yoni means womb. Papa Yoni, a womb which is a result of Papa, because we are results of our own karma anyway. So Papa Yonayaha means our Papa has made us born into a family which doesn't follow dharma. You can take it like that. But any family which doesn't help the child grow up, any circumstances that does not help a child to grow up in a healthy manner. Okay, so constant fighting, beating, abusing, lying, cheating, stealing, this, that, whatever you want to name it, that kind of a dysfunctional family, it's called a Papa Yoni. Here the person is called a Papa Yoni. Okay, Papa Yoni refers to the person who's born in that kind of a family. And the example of Prahlada is given. See, it may not be a good example also, but because Prahlada, we worship Prahlada, okay? But Prahlada was born in a dysfunctional family from day one onwards, and so this Rama Rama and all didn't work in his house apparently. I don't know what about his wives and all that, how they lived, we don't know, but at least. If he steps out, I think they have a they quietly, maybe secretly they pray and all that. We don't know what all happened, but that also danger because all these people are watching, and so it's a tough life. But imagine Prahlada from day one. Day one, you can't do this, you can't do that, and so such a person is swimming against the current. Correct? Swimming against the current. If the person wants to be dharmic, if that boy or girl wants to be, has some element of truth in them, dharma in them, then it's going to be what we call edir neechal. Edir neechal means what? Swimming against the current. So every language, I'm sure Kannada, all these things will have that Hindi. They're swimming against the current. That word will be there. Okay, and unlike unlike what? Like Adi Shankara's family. So Shiva Guru and Aryamba, and here they are praying for a child. And what kind of child you want? I want a child that is, do you want a long living child, I mean child with a long life, or intelligent? He will lead the world, that kind of child. Oh, of course, I want, we want somebody who is not simply living long, but what do you mean living long versus leading the world? Means what? Means the one who has good character and who is going to give direction to the world may not live long. May not live long. That's what it means. They said that's okay. He may die quickly, sooner than you think. He may, you may outlive him. You may outlive him. No parent wants to outlive their children. Correct? Outlive means live longer than. That is the meaning. And so these parents said, yes, we want that kind of a child. So therefore, from the get-go, great family, etc. is there. And versus, we know so many families which are not constantly in conflict. So long ago, I remember I met a family where the mother is religious, very religious, and so religious that she knows a lot, what to do, when to do, how to do, everything she knows. She knows, and this man is a total Nastika. Nastika means to the root core. This man has read all the Western philosophers. He quotes Western philosophy left and right. Arthur Schopenhauer, Immanuel Kant, and Hegel, and Hume, and Voltaire. And I had this discussion with him long ago. And he names all this, and I've never heard of these people also. And Hume and Santayana and Ayn Rand, and this, his bookshelf is full of all these books. But then I started studying Vedanta, and I knew a little bit hang up what is going on where and all. I have some idea. And so I told him one day, we had all these ideas discussion. Then he said, Uncle, Uncle, you've read so much. I mean, this kind of person I've never met. Have you read Vedanta? Means it's also one of the philosophies. And he didn't have an answer to that. Because he's written off the whole Indian culture, Vedic culture is all written off. So therefore, all these other things, Shankaracharya and all, doesn't come into the picture. Shankaracharya and all, the Western philosophers quote Shankaracharya. He didn't have an answer to that. So after that, he quietened down a little bit with me. But at home, it's a riot, constant riot. So you can imagine children, suffer in that kind of a family, because confusing mixed signals, constantly mixed signals will come, and so constant confusion. Correct? Constantly confused, and so striyaha, striyaha. So now we have to go back to what? Vaishyaha and Shudraha. Okay, striyaha we have seen. What is the meaning of striyaha now? Gunastriyaha, Swabhavastriyaha. People who are emotionally weak. People who are where emotions eclipse intellect. Emotion denies the presence of the intellect, denies the function of the intellect. Okay, and they say you make decisions based on your buddhi. That's why here in Shastram we divide manaha and buddhi. Manaha comes, and then after that buddhi. Buddhi takes charge. Buddhi should be in charge of our life. It doesn't say you should be a stone. Don't laugh, don't cry. Don't, not like that. You cry, you laugh, you do whatever you want. That's the beauty of the human being. But then at the end of the day, make decisions. Finish your crying, finish all your laughing, finish all your anger and all, cool down first. Then think through what happened, what you should do, etc. That means that is rational. The rationality has to be there. And so that intellect and rational and reason is often not available to that person. That person is called as Stri, the Stri Guna. And because Shankaracharya himself was born to a family where the father and mother were Vivekis. Therefore, he cannot, Shankaracharya cannot say Stri means, uh, he can't say woman, literal woman is not possible. And so, because our Lakshya is very different. Na mrit- na mrityu shanka, na jati bhedaha. Okay, Nirvana should come. Na mrityu shanka, I don't have any death. The question of death doesn't arise for me. And then na jati bhedaha. There is no jati, there is no bhedaha. Okay. And then what? And then pita naiva me naiva mata. Na janma. I am not mother, I am not father. I am not born. So if you talk like this somewhere else, they will write you off. This guy is this. What's wrong with him? That's what they will say. Whereas for us, this is Shastram. Then you have to say, hey, wait a minute. You are taking Vachyartha. You have to take Lakshyartha. We need to bring all this. These technical words you should bring and just give a lecture to all these people. I'm not that man. Okay. So like that and then na guru bandhur na mitram. There is no relative. I'm not relative. I'm not friend. Na guru naiva shishyaha. My goodness, can you believe this? Na guru naiva shishyaha. Correct? After all this teaching, the guru has to say, you are not shishyaha. You thought you were a very devoted student, worked hard and all that, but you are not a shishyaha. Is that you? Vachyartha of the you is just the you, the person, but lakshyartha of you, lakshyartha of tvam pada vicharaha, we saw all that, first 6 chapters. Okay, so that is the goal here. So there is avinashitu tadvidhi. What is the statement? Avinashitu tadvidhi cannot be told for the human body. Body is not avinashi. So there is a lot more here to offer, to take from. And so, adhikaritvam. We talk so much about adhikaritvam. Who is qualified to study Advaita Vedanta? Nowhere it talks about Stri and Purusha. Nowhere it talks about age also. You must be so and so age. Nothing. No chance. Shastra is crystal clear about this. Vivekam. Anybody can. Prahlada had Viveka at a young age. So, what to talk of age? Jati, Bheda, all these things are not there in the Adhikaritva. It doesn't even say things like you must have a lot of bhakti and all to come to Vedanta. Because bhakti's purpose is to get all this Vivekam Vairagya. Okay, Shamadamadi, emotional maturity, all that is Mumukshutvam. And so, Gunastriyaha, Swabhavastriyaha, that is what we are looking for here. And so it's like in the family, the boy has finished high school and going to college. And some choices are there. So, Delhi, beautiful, nice college, nice university, and then other universities in Chennai and all these places he got admission. And the father says, no, 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 my boy will suffer if he goes outside the home. If he goes outside the city, Coimbatore, my boy will suffer. Means what? This fellow can't live without this boy. Means he has to be protected, obviously. And so he's just emotionally so attached to this boy. And the wife says, you idiot, you idiot, you are once again going to ruin the life of your son. Wife is saying that. Look at the difference, right? So one has Viveka. The wife is very crystal clear. And you've been ruining our lives, and now this one, that's it, finish. You're going to finish off your son's life by doing all this. He's got good colleges, nice admission. Send him, kick him out. And so this is what happens. So Striya, who is a Stri here? Tell me. Lady is the Stri or the man is Stri? They say these words. Don't be a. In America, they use some words. Here, I don't know. Here also, they say sometimes. Don't be a wimp. Don't be a I don't know if they say don't be a lady or something. In America, I don't know if that usage is there. But something similar to that I've heard, but I can't get it now. But here also they say no. You see movies and all that. They say, come on, Marad. The hero will say, Amitabh Bachchan. Amitabh Bachchan is getting beaten up by all these ruffians. And then he comes and then this man, अरे क्या अरे मर्द हो तो आओ एक fight one on one with me. You send all these people with all these sticks and all that, they're beating me up. Is this the way to show your masculinity? Marad ho to bahar aao. So marad, so that marad, so this marad is there always, physical strength. So that emotional weakness here is talked about, nothing to do with physical characteristics. And so the entire Shastram we studied, second chapter. Okay. Yogastha kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya. Sangam tyaktva. Arjuna is being advised by Krishna. Hey, you're too attached to all these people. Bhishmadayaha. Bhishmadayaha. You know what Shankaracharya says? Sadvrittatvat. Sadvrittatvat. Beautiful commentary Shankara writes there. He says, you're worrying about Bhishma? Do you think Bhishma doesn't know how to take care of himself? He's a Dharma Purusha. So why are you worried about Bhishma? What an argument Shankaracharya gives. Bhishma knows all about Dharma. In fact, later on he is going to teach you Vishnu Sahasranamam also. Okay. And so there's no problem. Bhishma, you shouldn't worry about Bhishma. There, he's taking care of himself. You have to take care of yourself. And so Sangam Tyaktva Dhananjaya. Otherwise, what? Jayato Vishayan Pumsaha Sangasteshu Pajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kama. Otherwise, you will go off in a different direction. This Sangha, Kama, Krodha, and all will come. And so, therefore, this emotional mind is being talked about when Krishna uses the word Striyaha. So, Striyaha, later on, he's going to put a condition. So, we'll see that condition later. But that is Striyaha. Okay. Next, Vaishyaha. And then Shudra, two words are there. And this should take us to one shloka. The minute these words come, it should take us to a shloka we studied. And that is, you can unmute you.
Sadhu, then Shunaka, all that. Shopaka.
Shapaka is there. But where was all? Huh?
Chaturvarnyamaya Srishtam Gunakarma Vibhaga.
Correct. That's what I was looking for. Chaturvarnyam Maya Srishtam Gunakarma Vibhagashaha Tasya Kartaram Apimam Akartaram
Vidyakartaram
Avyayam. Correct. So there we studied this whole idea of this Brahmana, Vaishya, Kshatriya, Shudra, all this Varna Vyavastha we studied. A good time to review that briefly, okay, because we spent a whole hour and a half on this topic. And beautiful explanation. Okay, the explanation is what? Shankaracharya. Amazing. Amazing means amazing. Sattva guna, Rajo guna, Tamo guna. Correct? These are the three gunas there. Who is a Brahmana? Well, three ways in which you have to look at Brahmana, Kshatriya. What are the three ways? Jati. Jati means by birth, who are you? Then, Jati. Because Jati, we are all born. Suppose you ask me, how come you are a Brahmana? Means karma, this kind of Brahmana. Means I was born in a Brahmin family, therefore I am Brahmana. That's it, over. I don't have a choice. I didn't have a choice in that. So that is called Jati Brahmana. Then Karma Brahmana means what? Okay, you're born into a Vedic family, a Brahmin family, but are you following all the stipulations of a Brahmin life? Or are you doing day trading, day trading from morning to evening, day trading, all day trading on the stock exchange, stock market? Is that what you're doing or what? Do you do any of this Sandhya Vandanam and all? Puja, do you know where your puja room is at home? You think this is the thing. That is the second thing. What is that called? Karma Brahmana. Karma. Do you, by karma, by duty are you a Brahmana? Okay, by jati you are Brahmana, but by karma are you Brahmana? Karma there means duty, activities. Are you a Brahmana? Next and last, Guna Brahmana. Correct? Okay, karma, you are a Brahmana, you are doing all these rituals, etc. Fine, you are doing all the Panchamaha Yajna and all fine. But what about this Guna? Guna, अंदर क्या है? What do you have? All values? So all compassion, ahimsa, satyam, all these things are there or what? That is called guna. Based on guna, person can be Brahmana. Based on jati, person can be Brahmana. Based on karma, person can be Brahmana. Correct? You understood now, right? So the word Brahmana is just a general word. Normally it means Brahmana means jati Brahmana. Normally, generally when you say he is a Brahmin, if you say, okay, jati. Or karma also, because we don't know person's jati, karma. The person is officiating rituals, the person is a priest, etc. So, jati kshatriya, jati brahman. I mean, karma kshatriya, karma brahman. But here, guna is being talked about. So, a person can be a jati brahmana, born into a Brahmin family, but is a guna what? Guna shudra. Guna shudra. Shudra means what? Absolutely lazy, not using the intellect. Big intellect is there in the head, and it's not being used properly at all. Constantly munching chips and watching TV. So something like that. They're just wasting the life. So that fellow is a what? Guna shudra. So the word shudra, therefore, the technical meaning. Remember, whereas you can have a jati shudra. Shudra means a person born into that kind of a family, but guna brahmana. Guna brahmana, highly compassionate, sattvic oriented, an ability to think and ask questions and all that, just like a viveki. So there, there the roles seem to be reversed, and therefore we have to ask: is the division based on jati, karma, or guna? Again, Krishna is not interested in all this jati, brahmana, and all. Not interested. Jati, kshatriya, what kind of family you are born into. That is gotram and agotram. Mundaka Upanishad is going to talk about Atma, and it says agotram. First adrishyam, adreshyam it says. Adreshyam, Atma is not visible. You can't see and point to Atma. Adreshyam. Then agotram. You have gotra. What? Kashyapa gotra? Bharadwaja gotra and all. You call yourself your descendant of a rishi. Okay, that is all okay. Keep that aside. When you come to Vedanta, you keep all the gotra and all aside for now. Okay, that is what Mundaka is going to say. Mundaka Upanishad. Therefore, here Guna Vaishyaha, Guna Shudraha. Why Guna Vaishya is said? So therefore now Brahmana means what? Sattva Guna Pradhanaha. Three gunas. This is a different. Okay, Sattva Guna Pradhanaha. That's the Trigunatmika is coming. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. When Sattva is predominant, some of you may have missed those classes, new students. Sattva is predominant, Rajas is secondary in a person. Means predominantly Sattva. Sattva means proper thinking. All values are very much there, and introspection and Viveka and all there. That is Sattva. Rajas is dynamism, activity. All of us have these three gunas. But the question is, which one is predominant? So Sattva Guna Pradhanaha, Rajo Guna Upasarjanaha. Rajas is number 2 in that list. Then what happens? That person's qualification, that person's mindset is called a Brahmana Guna. Brahmana Guna, correct? Because jati is jati. If parents decide what my jati is, so that's fixed. But guna, based on this particular sattva, rajas, and tamas. Next, number 2. Rajas is predominant, number 1. Number 2, backed up by sattva. Highly dynamic, highly ambitious, But all this ambition and dynamism is used for what? It is backed by sattva, compassion, and so this person will become, he will give up his life. Giving up attitude, not selfish ambition, correct? Not selfish ambition, selfless ambition, used for the community. Therefore, Kshatriya Guna. Kshatriya Guna. Keep Guna in mind. And of course, then karma, automatically that person will take up a karma of, administration, governance, administration. And then we have a person in our class, and they were working in the government. And then, truthful, she's there in the class right now, truthful, and she couldn't deal with all these politicians, and so she quit the job after that. So that is how it is. That person, I mean, I'm not saying guna, but the commitment to truth is there. So guna kshatriya, okay, rajas predominant, but sattva secondary. Then third category, third guna is what? Rajas predominant, tamas secondary. Rajas predominant, tamas secondary. Are you following me? Yes. Most of you are shaking your head. Okay. Some of you are maybe thinking, what is this sattva, rajas, tamas? Somewhere I heard it.
Doesn't it change? Doesn't it change in one person? We all have Tattva, Rajas, Tamas.
Yeah. So doesn't it change?
Changes, right?
Yeah, it changes. It can change, obviously. That is why a Shudra Guna person can become a Brahmana Guna, because it is change is possible, and I can change it. Means the person decides, the person can change it. We saw some shlokas earlier also. So you make the effort and you see what's going on, and then you can change yourself. Okay. So Rajas predominant, tamas secondary will become what? Same dynamism and ambition is there, but used for, tamas is secondary, not sattva. Tamas means opposite of sattva, you can say. So therefore, for selfish purposes, I will use my ambition and dynamism and strength. And so that is called Vaishya Buddhi. Then Shudra Buddhi is what? Tamo Guna Pradhana. Tamas is predominant. If tamas is predominant, sattva cannot be secondary. Only rajas can be secondary. Okay. So we did all this. This is just a recap, review. And so that's Tamo Guna Pradhana. Guna is called Shudra Guna. We're talking Guna, Shudra Guna. Or Adhama Guna. Better to, I use the word, I did not use the word Brahmana Guna when I explained. What did I say? Uttama Guna, okay, Madhyama Guna, Adho Madhyama Guna, and Adho Guna. I think these are the words I used, because we didn't want to get confused with this Brahmana means Uttama Guna. No, Brahmana need not be Uttama Guna. We just said that. Why? Because Karma Brahmana, okay, but then Guna is gone case. So then Guna Shudraha. That's why I didn't want to use the word Brahmana Guna. We said Uttama Guna, Madhyama Guna, Adho Madhyama Guna, and Adho Guna. Okay. Just so that we don't confuse between these words. And so, therefore, what is the Vaishyaha here? Krishna is saying Guna Vaishyaha. Guna Vaishyaha. Guna Vaishyaha means what? Rajo Guna Pradhanaha. Tamo Guna Upasarjana. Correct? Activity is there, ambition is there, drive is there. Some stuff, I want to do some stuff is there, but Tamo Guna Pradhanaha, therefore, used for selfish means. Other people don't come into mind. Therefore, Krishna is using that kind of a guna as a Vaishya Guna. And even Vaishyas, he says, can gain me. Like that he's saying. Okay. Swami gives an example. He's saying, this Vaishya Guna person can be anybody, can be Brahmana, Jati, etc., right? Based on our understanding. And he went to Rishikesh because dragged him. We have to come to ashram. We have to meet our Swamiji, and then he goes to Swamiji. All meeting over. Then he comes back home. Shikesh is up north. Comes back home to the south, and then what? He is doing business, and he starts a new business. What is this? After you, yeah, Rudraksha business, good business to be in. I forgot about not sitting in south. We don't see all these things. There I saw big demand is there. Sannyasis, even young people are wearing Rudraksha mala. Small, big things, small beads, big beads, and all this. Now I'm getting a lot of ideas. And he is doing, goes to Rishikesh, becomes a business, good business idea. So that is the example Swamiji gives. And so that bent, that commercial bent. Commercial is not wrong, remember. Commercial used for selfish means is what we are talking about. Commercial is not wrong. Okay. So that bent, he says. And Shudraha likewise. Guna Shudraha. He's talking about Guna Shudraha. So Guna Shudraha. Born into a nice wealthy family, let's say Brahmana Jati family, and then Khao, Piyo, Mauj Manao. Because money is there, I don't have to go to college. Go to college also, my father is a politician, and so I can get my way. I can get degrees. Any number of degrees I want, I can get. Really? How do you get it? No, my father knows how to do all that stuff. Okay? And so, but you are supposed to study. And that is for you people, studying and all, not for me. Okay? And so, this is called Shudra Buddhi. This is called Shudra Buddhi. That person is talking about here. So, Tamo Guna Pradhana Purushaha is called Shudra Guna Purushaha, right? And so we are clear about this kind of understanding of. So if this is not understood, then what will happen? We are stuck with one word called Brahmana, right? And then we are stuck with our idea of a Brahmana, Brahmin. This word Brahmin also in English is there. And then that's it. We're stuck with this, and then we get lost in this caste system discussion and this and that. Okay. So anyway, here that is what Krishna is referring to. Guna Shudraha, Guna Vaishyaha. Okay. And he's saying that these people, Tepi Param Gatim Yanti. Tepi, they also Param Gatim Yanti. Paraprakritim Yanti. From the 7th chapter, Paraprakritim. They'll gain that Param, that infinite. Me, Gati. Gati is destination. That Gati is destination, not fate and all that. Gati in Tamil, Gati and all they say, is they say என்னோட கதி இதுதான் அப்படின்னா மீன்ஸ் தலையெழுத்து சர்ப்பர் லிக்காயனா that is also called Gati, but यहाँ पर Gati is destination, and Param, that Purnatvam they also can gain. Okay. And but one condition he gives. Condition. What is the condition? Mam hi partha vyapashritya. There's always a little condition somewhere, Just like you go somewhere, buy this or buy that, this car is affordable. This car is affordable. That car is too expensive. But then some conditions will be there. Means within 6 months of buying the car, you may have to take it to the mechanic's shop. That's all. That's the only thing that is there. So like that, conditions here also. Mam hi partha vyapashritya. So that person has to tell himself that, hey, Bhagavan is the goal of my life. Bhagavan is the goal of my life. And they're not Paroksha Bhagavan, Aparoksha Bhagavan. Mam Ananya Bhak, Krishna said just a few shlokas ago. So Ananya Bhag, that kind of person is, once that person, Shudra Buddhi, also can somehow, he doesn't say how and all that, somehow, if even that person can decide to do some circumstance, something happens, and if he says, yeah, I got it, then I can't stop him also. Anybody has access to me, like that he says. So therefore, what is the summary of the shloka? people born in dysfunctional families and people who have these kinds of tamas, tamo pradhana characteristics also can gain me. That is the main. So it's an important shloka, obviously, because he doesn't. Krishna says, I don't. He doesn't. All this gender and birth and jati and all doesn't matter to me. I'm equally available to all. So let's translate the shloka. Indeed, comma Arjuna, comma. Indeed, Arjuna, even those who are born in families, even those who are born in families given to improper conduct, given to improper conduct, given to improper conduct. It's a peculiar English usage. Given to means who engage in improper conduct. That is the meaning. Comma. It's a nice usage because very important. A person commits a crime. Again, second time commits a crime. Again, third time commits a crime. Okay. We label that person as what? Criminal. One person, one crime itself is enough. Why three crimes? Criminal. Who is a criminal? Now, who is a criminal? Criminal means one who commits crimes. That's the definition of a criminal. But this person is not always committing crimes. Okay, he committed a crime, all right. But he also has a family. He's compassionate. He's taking care of a family, etc. And people think actually he's a nice guy also. That means he has a nice aspect to it. Correct? Therefore, he's not like criminal. 6 o'clock in the morning, criminal. 6:30, criminal. 7 o'clock, criminal. 7:30, criminal. No. Therefore, the word criminal is a label. Label. When you say this person is a criminal, you are basically whitewashing his entire life and character and everything and branding that person as a criminal. It's a brand. So what we say is there is no criminal, but here is a person given to crime. Given to crime means what? Has a tendency to commit some wrong actions. That's subjective statement. Criminal, if you say, then it becomes like this. It becomes like what? Call a person a dog and then what? Call a person a dog and
he will bark.
We
yeah,
expect him to bark.
yeah. Call a person a dog and he will bark. Call a person a dog and shoot him. Now you can shoot him because after all a dog, right? So that's how they made a monster out of Saddam Hussein. America is good at making monsters. You know how they do it? Quietly build up the narrative. Quietly build it up. Media will all trump it, and then every media will say the same thing, and the rest of the media, like us, also will keep on lapping all that up, and then you created a dictator. Now, I'm not saying Saddam Hussein did not do some other thing, but this is how they build, and then make the person into a person who can now be shot. That's the idea there. So therefore, this word given to improper conduct is an important usage. I wanted to just say that, comma, and so too emotionally weak persons emotionally weak persons. Many translations will have women, okay? So too women, okay? And I'm changing that. I'm not saying Swamiji also when he explained this way only. But even in a translation, I don't feel like saying women. Quotes with women in quotes. No, that's not it. Emotionally weak persons. That's it. Comma. Vaishyas and Shudras. Everything you can put in quotes because this requires a lot of explanation. Vaishyas in quotes and Shudras, comma. taking refuge in me, comma, taking refuge in me, they also gain the ultimate end. They also gain the ultimate end. Ultimate end means what? See, it can't be death. You know why death is, can't be? Ultimate end can be death. Oh, ultimately we all die. Suppose somebody says. Yes, but ultimate end here means what? Death also here is not an end to life because another punarjanma is there. Therefore, physical death is not the ultimate end of the jiva. Therefore, ultimate end means from which there is no return. From which there is no means moksha ityarthaha. Let me read this once again. Indeed, Arjuna, even those who are born in families given to improper conduct, comma, and so too, comma, women, I mean not women, emotionally weak uh, persons, comma, Vaishyas and Shudras, comma, taking refuge in me, comma, they also gain the ultimate end. Okay. So we have a few minutes here. So let's chant the next one. किं पुनर्ब्राह्मणाः पुण्याः
किं पुनर्ब्राह्मणाः पुण्याः
भक्ता राजर्षयस्तथा
भक्ता राजर्षयस्तथा
अनित्यमसुखं लोकम्
अनित्यमसुखं लोकम्
इमं प्राप्य भजस्व माम्
इमं प्राप्य भजस्व माम्
किं पुनर्ब्राह्मणाः पुण्याः
किं पुनर्ब्राह्मणाः पुण्याः
भक्ता राजर्षयस्तथा
भक्ता राजर्षयस्तथा
अनित्यमसुखं लोकम्
अनित्यमसुखं लोकम्
इमं प्राप्य भजस्व माम्.
इमं प्राप्य भजस्व माम्.
Yeah. So, if Vaishyas, Shudras and Papayonayaha and emotionally weak people also can gain me, Kim Punar Brahmanaha? Means Brahmana, Guna Brahmanaha within brackets, right? Guna Brahmanaha. What to talk of Guna Brahmanaha? Do you think they'll be stranded? No, they won't be stranded. Kim Punar Brahmanaha? What to talk of Brahmanaha? Guna Brahmanaha, right? And Rajarshaya. So Kshatriya is bringing, Brahmana and Kshatriya is bringing here, right? Rajarshaya. Rajyaha tatha Rishihi. So not only the person is a Raja, means a Kshatriya dharma is following, but is also a Rishi. Rishi means what? Rishati means Janati. That person knows. Knows what's what. And so that person who is a Kshatriya, following Kshatriya dharma, and also has Viveka Buddhi, is using that. Number two, Sattva Pradhana Guna, Sattva Guna, not Pradhana. Rajoguna Pradhanaha, Sattva Guna, Upasarjana, right? That Sattva that is backing him up, is using it. Therefore, he becomes a Rishi. And Guna Kshatriyaha, they are called Guna Kshatriyaha. And they are the ones who, as we said, they are active, selflessly active, okay. And I was amazed. I went to a shop a couple of days ago, a couple of weeks ago. The clock was not working, so I gave the clock to the repairman. He repaired it and gave it. He was on the phone with somebody, and he said, I said, who's that? So he said, my wife's sister's son and he's in the army. Must be a young person, 24, whatever, 24. And he is posted in Assam. He got now reposted to Kashmir, and his family was a bit not happy about that, because Kashmir. But he goes there. I said Kashmir is such a beautiful place, and so on and so forth. He said, I'm going to go because this man he knows what he wants to do, and etc. He was telling a story, and he said, no, he has to buy a SIM card. This Assam, that SIM card doesn't work here in Kashmir and all. I told him, I'll buy him the SIM card. Tell him that. Ask him to call me. Here's my number. He has my number. And this is the least I can do for a guy who's protecting this country. This is what I told him. And so we meet such people all the time. It's all there. And so we're all happy here today, sitting and enjoying this Zoom session because of so many people. My goodness. And I was so happy when I heard that. I said, wow. And so that is that Rajarshaya. And a bit extra Rishi also, bit extra Viveka. Take that sacrificing mentality. And the next step is this will be very obvious after some time. And so Rajarshayaha Satvikaha Tatha. So he's going to say that these people also are going to gain me. Like that he is going to say. We will discuss that in the next class. Okay. And then after that, I think one more shloka is there. Manmana Bhava, etc. will come. So we will discuss that. Om Swasti Prajabhyah Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishaha Go Brahmanebhyah Shubhamastu Nityam Lokas Samastas Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Parjanyah Prithvi Sasya Shalini Desho Yam Kshobarahitah Brahmana Santu Nirbhayaha. Brahmana Santu Nirbhayaha. Again the word Brahmana comes. Okay. So people who are teaching the Vedas, Nirbhayaha. See, a Brahmana has no fear, really speaking. But then fear of life is always there. And so let the people who teach Vedas, who are harmless people, the most harmless people are the people who are simply sitting and teaching all these things to others. That's all. There's no other agenda in that person. If they are protected in society, then the society is a great society. That is what the shloka is implying, I think. So anyway, Brahmana Santu Nirbhayaha. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.